Welcome to the EOB Podcast, where we talk about the weekend box office and the new openings this week. I'm Ben No, and joining me is Sen Duong. Hey Sen, Super Bowl weekend last week.
Yeah.
And there was only one wide release, and that is the Helen Mirren horror movie Winchester.
Right.
Yeah, and initially, I wasn't that aware that the Super Bowl was playing that weekend. I thought, Winchester was released, as a long release simply because, they wanted to stay away from that 50 Shades movie which is coming out this week.
Oh, right.
So I was kind of aware that the Super Bowl was playing, but I didn't actually link it together.
Yeah, I was like you. I didn't realize. In the back of my mind, I know that there's a Super Bowl and then there's my son's birthday.
All right. Oh, cool.
Yeah. So this whole thing escaped me too. Those things and the opening weekend were completely separated in my brain. It's almost like one's on the left and one's on the right. I'm aware of that both of them were happening, but not. I didn't connect the two.
Exactly, and for me, since I don't have cable, right, and I don't even receive the channel to watch the Super Bowl. So I couldn't watch it if I wanted to.
Hey! You know what? You can buy one of those digital antennas now for $30. You can it's just a flat piece of thing. You have HD
No,
TV.
I have that, but it doesn't work. In my area because the house. I think it's stucco, and they use some sort of like a metal mesh, and it kind of blocks the signal.
That screws up the signal.
It blocks the signal.
Oh.
Yeah.
Oh, that
sucks.
So
unless I put the antenna in the attic or outside.
Right. They don't let you stream it.
Stream it?
Yeah, Super Bowl.
No, I don't think so. I mean, I could probably find some streams if I want to, but I'm not gonna put that much effort in watching a game that I'm not that interested in the case, right?
Hey, it's the commercials.
Yeah, but you can watch it online. It's posted on YouTube. The moment that's shown.
All right, it was a good game though.
Okay, I'll take your word for it. But it was not a good time for the box office, specifically the movies, because I guess people were, as with these big events, people were, having get-togethers to watch the game and whatnot, right?
Yeah, unless you're Jumanji and the Greatest Show.
Yeah, sure.
It's like nothing can stop those movies. They just go on and on and on.
Yeah, right. Those are the choices, for the movie if people went, right? And, judging by the box office, it was a relatively tame weekend.
Yeah.
I believe it's a Super Bowl.
Right. All right, let's get on to it.
Okay, all right. Now, without further ado, let's go and jump into the number one movie. As you said, Jumanji, the train keeps going. Nothing stopping this juggernaut. Coming in number one.
Wait, last week it was number 2, right?
Yeah, last week was number 2. Because of Maze Runner.
Runner.
But,
and now it got back up again. This is I wonder if this is the only movie that didn't open at number 1, eventually climbed to number 1. Gets unseated at number 1 and then climb back up to
It's very possible. It's very possible because of the weak lineup, right? Okay, let me get through the numbers first. 11 million pull in over the weekend. 352 million domestic so far, and the worldwide take right now is 855 million. And let me remind you that this movie nobody had high opinion of. No one was expecting anything from this movie, and look at it.
Yeah. Yep. It's pulling in the kind of numbers that the superhero movies are pulling in. The best superhero movies. Not your, one of the mill Man of Steel or Justice League.
And look, Jumanji, Star Wars couldn't keep it down, right? Maze Runner couldn't keep it down.
Yep.
Claw back to number 1.
Yeah.
It's already in its 7th weekend and still the number 1 movie.
Yeah, you know what? Like James Cameron, they might turn this into like 6 movies. How many Avatar sequels?
I think James Cameron's making 3.
Just 3? Last I heard, he was working on 4 and 5. He's like writing down the outline for a bunch of sequels.
It's very possible it could be Rin, but right now he's making 2, 3, and 4, I believe.
Oh, all simultaneously. Okay. So they're going back to that. You know that the whole thing with doing a couple movies in a row is not working out too well lately.
Well, but this is James Cameron, right?
Yeah.
He haven't failed.
Maybe who knows? Maybe he'll bring it back.
Yeah. I mean, he haven't made much movie lately, right? And this is, he can spend as much time as he wants with this movie, and he has a big budget to work with. And it very well could pay off, since right now he's James Cameron. He's reached this mythical status because because he hasn't been making movies, people still remember his past movies.
Yeah, right. Okay, and number 2 is like we mentioned previously, last week's number 1 movie, Maze Runner: The Death Cure, put in 10.2 million over the weekend. Experienced a pretty steep drop off, especially when you compare it to the rest of the films in the top 10. It's almost 60% drop off.
Yeah.
After 2 weeks, it grossed 40 million on a budget of 62 million. It looks like it's going to continue in terms of the domestic gross, that, I don't know, 25 to 30% slide, maybe 20% slide. I think the first Maze Runner made 100, the second one made 80. This one will probably only get to 60. Mm-hmm. But worldwide, what is it at worldwide? It's already at 182 million worldwide on a budget of 62 million. It's going to be a profitable film. But, this is the end of it. No spin-offs, I don't think, unless they're doing a straight to streaming.
Hey, it crossed the finish line. It, has this final movie. And
at least it's able to do that.
Yes, it's able to do that and being profitable.
Yeah, unlike, Divergent.
Right. And because they were able to keep the budget low, they were able to finish.
And because they didn't split this film in two. Imagine if they split this film in two.
Right, if they split the film in two, look at the take, right? They couldn't finish this either because it opened up to what? I think 23 or 24 million. Yeah, 24 million. And then now has a nearly 60% drop off, and I believe the third weekend is going to drop off huge as well. I don't think it's not going to stabilize that much. It's going to probably in the 40-50% range drop off with the Maze, the Death Cure. I think interest level is not there anymore. But it's doing great overseas, and as you say, profitable movie because of overseas.
Yeah, I think they'll probably find a way to continue it on Netflix or one of the other streaming sites.
Maybe.
Because there's money to be made. There's always money to be made, and never count out Netflix. They will make sequels to anything with any kind of following. And the surprising thing is they tend to do a decent job.
Sure, but they have all these people, coming out with these original series, and of course, because this is sci-fi too. It's not cheap to make sci-fi movies.
Right.
But they could have other shows to spend the money elsewhere.
Yeah, like Will Smith's Bright.
Yeah, again, I don't have Netflix, so I don't know what's on there.
All right. I think we're done with Maze Runner. Let's move on to number 3. The only wide release of the weekend, Winchester. Put in 9.3 million over the weekend. Stars Helen Mirren. Jason Clarke is one of these horror thriller films released by Lionsgate, kind of their bread and butter. And what figures were we having it at?
Yeah, it's actually closer to your figure. You say 10 to 15, and I say 5. And right there is at the lower end of your projection.
Yeah. I told you never count out Helen Mirren.
Yeah, sure, but look, Winchester is a odd mix, Helen Mirren gothic horror movie.
But still, never count her out. She's been pretty consistent, even with her indie films.
Sure. But
but
I still, because it is a horror movie, and my relationship with horror movies, I don't have that high of an opinion on it. So that's why I go low. That's why I went low.
Yeah. So it's kind of, I don't know, on the lower end of my projections. I think this is pretty much where people in the industry had it. I'm not sure what the budget is, but being a Helen Mirren movie, I don't think it's too high because she does have a draw, but this is, the type of opening they can expect from a Helen Mirren film, so I don't think it's much higher than 30 million, for instance.
Right. So I expect it to be 30 to 40 million, because of it is a period piece.
And costumes cost money. Yeah, and sets.
Yeah, so there goes. Yeah, it's a mid-level movie, right? 30 to 40 million. The opening's pretty decent. I mean, if it's like any other Helen Mirren movie, it'll probably linger in theaters.
Yeah, we're not sure if this is going to follow the Helen Mirren track or the horror film track. Because if it follows a horror film track, it might experience a 60% drop off next weekend. But if it follows a Helen Mirren track, it might hold up. So maybe it might be somewhere in between.
Sure. we'll just average out the two, and that's where it is.
Yeah, probably around 40% dropout. Or 45%.
Right. So we'll see. We'll see. In the second weekend, if Helen Mirren has another avenue to her career, like Liam Neeson, right? He's in all these dramas, and then he suddenly found himself as an action hero. And Helen Mirren, she could be the new, in her late age, horror movie star. Who knows?
Yeah. All right. Speaking of period pieces and costumes and sets, the next film on our list at number 4 is The Greatest Showman. Put in 7.8 million over the weekend. Again, the drop off is only 18% of all the films in the top 10. That's the lowest. After 7 weeks of release, it has already grossed 137 million, and it continues to go on. And I don't know, it might even make it up to 200 million.
Yeah. When the movie first opened, we say, it'll probably have barely make 50 million, and then it went on and on. Say, it could do 90, but now look at it. It's at 137 million domestic.
Yeah, and then a couple of weeks ago we said, it'll probably do 150, and now it'll definitely go past 150.
Yeah.
Yeah. Now,
if it holds.
Now we gotta up it again to 200 million.
You're upping it to 200 million, and you might be right.
Right.
It's just one of these movies that keep on surprising. It's like, hey, why is it? Why is it? Or is this movie's drop off so low?
Yeah.
And
it's getting really good word of mouth.
Mm-hmm. So there you go. So a movie that didn't open great, but hey, it somehow was
it's the sleeper hit of the holiday season.
Yeah.
If you don't consider Jumanji the sleeper hit.
Yeah. Well, Jumanji is a monster.
Yes, yeah.
And Greatest Showman, I think the Greatest Showman had lower expectations than Jumanji.
Yeah,
right?
Everyone had low expectations. I mean, they like Hugh Grant, but they're like, I'm not sure about this.
Right. It's circus musical. Yeah. So prove us wrong.
Yep.
Okay. Let's move on to number 5. It's Hostiles. It's the Christian Bale Western.
Yeah.
With Indians, race relationships way back when. It pulled in about 5.5 million over the weekend. I think this is the 7th weekend already. A drop off is about 45%. Domestic gross is 21 million.
It's holding steady, so...
Yeah, it is, and I don't think this movie cost that much, but it's 21 million. It's probably at, either break even or, I don't know.
It'll probably finish in the 30-35 million range, and, kind of modest. Not bad, not great.
Yeah, it's kind of an odd movie to release at this time.
Well, anytime you have a Western, it's kind of an odd movie.
Yeah, sure. It's a Western, about with Indians, and we haven't had any issues, I think, lately with Indians or racism.
They don't have to.
Well, but
they don't have to.
Yeah, but still.
Sometimes they just throw in a Western. Just it was a huge genre back in the day, and just like musicals.
Sure.
We don't have it all the time, but once every so often. We want to see great landscapes,
but I don't think Hostiles is one of those movies where, you say, oh, wow, that's a great, sand dune or whatever.
It might be. The trailer looks pretty good.
All right. But, it's just one of these movies where it's just there.
Right.
Doesn't have a time or place. It's just there.
I think it did better than what I was expecting or you were expecting. It's just kind of crept up, kind of out of nowhere,
Mm-hmm.
If a Christian Bale movie can creep up out of nowhere,
right?
I mean, it was kind of on limited release for a while.
Yep, and it's there. I mean, and it follows the limited release trend of just eking out 21 million so far.
Right. All right. Next film on our list at number 6 is The Post. Put in 5.2 million, drop off of 43%. Its gross, the total is 67 million on a budget of 50 million. It's doing good, not great. It's a timely movie about, the importance of free media, directed by Steven Spielberg, starring Tom Hanks and Meryl Streep.
Yeah. And because, like in current times, right, the mass media or the mainstream media is, positioned as the villain, right?
Yeah.
And maybe that's why I don't know. Maybe we said it's the subject matter. Maybe that's why it's not doing as well as the cast and crew. Um,
I don't know. I think that's not bad because even the big what's the last big media movie? Not the Big Short. The one about the priest molesting kids.
oh
Um,
yeah, forgot the name, but I know what you're talking about.
what is it? Real time research.
Yeah, but those movie doesn't have like Steven Spielberg directing. Doesn't have Meryl Streep, Tom Hanks, and a couple others. John Williams, composing the music.
Yeah, but still, it's about a newspaper.
Well, it's not just about the newspaper,
Yeah,
right?
yeah.
It's
I
it's
mean, I
about
mean,
it's about the newspaper having like this top secret documents, and
yeah.
its
How I
release could
mean,
bring
yeah.
down a
How
president,
yeah.
right?
How exciting can that be?
It could be exciting, right?
That's what I mean. The fact that it did is doing what it's doing is probably not bad.
Okay, but not good either, right? Like I said, because of the talent involved. I expected more. I expected 100 million, but no.
Okay, you know what? I gotta find that movie.
Okay, all right. So we can edit this out. So go find that movie, Boston.
You know what? Forget it. Let's move on.
Okay, we can come back next podcast and do research then.
Yeah.
We'll have that movie for you. All right. Moving along after the post on at number 7 is 12 Strong. It is the Chris Hemsworth war movie about him and a group of elite soldiers heading over to Afghanistan to get some allies to fight the Taliban. And it pulled in about 4.7 million over the weekend. Domestic gross is 36 million, and the drop off is about 46%. So his movie's not holding up.
So 45% is not bad for an action movie.
Yeah, but it's not. It didn't open that strong as well. Like even though it's 12 strong, it only opened to about 15 million, right?
Yeah, which is not bad because we weren't expecting. It was higher. It's higher than his. It's kind of higher than most of his films outside of the Marvel movies.
Well, yeah, sure, but it's dropping and dropping and dropping. Last week.
Yeah,
it
but
was,
45% is actually pretty good for action movies.
yeah, it is.
Because action movies tend to they tend to have a drop off in the 50 to 60% range.
Yeah.
So.
Well, I was expecting this movie. I mean, his movie, if it's any good to last, to stay on in theaters for a while, but it's heading straight down.
There was Spotlight.
Mm-hmm.
Spotlight was the last.
Yeah, right. Okay.
The
You
last
finally found it, so we don't have to come back next week.
Yeah. Let me see how Spotlight did. Okay, let's go on to the next.
All right. So the next movie, number 8, is Den of Thieves. It's kind of like following along with it's lagging along. 12 strong as well. Den of Thieves is the Gerard Butler 50 Cent actioner thriller.
Mm.
Pulled in about 4.6 million or 0.7. It's kind of neck and neck. Over the weekend, drop off is about 46% as well. Domestic gross is about 36 million. Another movie that action movie that takes advantage of the January release schedule, and it's there, and it's just following.
It's okay.
It's there.
It's not his what's his last franchise? Something falling.
Yeah,
down.
Olympus Has
Fallen. Yeah. So it's okay. It's kind of in the range of the last London Has Fallen.
Sure, and I don't think it's losing money like Geostorm, right?
No. Yeah, not losing money as Geostorm. This is by STX, so their budget's kind of low.
Right.
Okay, so Spotlight, with all its awards and nominations and whatnot, only pulled in 45 million.
Oh, it's not bad.
Yeah, but the Post, it's already at 67 million. They'll probably make it to 80 or 85 million, and if it wins any awards, it might make more. So compared to Spotlight, it's pretty good.
Sure, but let who's in Spotlight? Mark Ruffalo, Michael Keaton, Rachel McAdams, Liv Schreiber, Stanley Tucci.
Younger popular actors. I mean, Tom Hanks has been consistent lately, but he's not where he used to be. Meryl Streep Meryl Streep, her movies usually do in the 40 million range, 50 million range, unless sometimes she'll have a spike when she does a mainstream movie. But so the poster when you come to think of it, is pretty good.
Okay,
and the budget's only 50 million.
All right, and it's still going, so
yeah.
It could end this one maybe 85, 90 million.
Yeah, depending on how the Oscars go.
Okay, now we got your movie Spotlight. That's the movie about the Boston priest.
The Boston Globe. Yeah.
Well, that's there in Boston molestation.
Yeah.
I guess.
Yeah.
Cover up and expose.
Yeah.
All right. Moving on to number 9 is The Shape of Water. Pulled in about 4.3 million. Because of the Oscar bump, it's getting a bigger release, adding more additional theaters, and domestic gross right now is about 45 million.
Right, which is pretty good.
Yes,
considering it was just sort of there. I mean, it was released in limited. There was some hype, but most of the hype was surrounding Lady Bird, I think. Or maybe it's just because, we're from Sacramento and all I hear is Lady Bird.
maybe you're just in the area and, because anything Sacramento is great. I mean, outside of the government there, right?
Yeah. So, it's one of those films that kind of was lurking, underneath. And it's finally, popped up.
Right.
13 Oscar nominations.
Yeah, and it's an art movie as well. A water creature.
Yeah, and the great thing with this film is even without the Oscar nomination, even before the Oscar nominations, it was still making around 30 million, which is really good considering it never hit the top 10. It was always making, a very solid amount, in the limited amount of screens it had, and it slowly went up to 30 plus million.
Right. And if you missed out on the last podcast, Guillermo del Toro has triple X to thank for this movie.
Yeah, right. Yep.
If he win any Oscars, he has triple X to thank for it.
Yeah, he needs to thank Vin Diesel and Donnie Yen.
Right. Okay, so Shape of Water is somehow shaping up to be the front runner for Oscars.
Yeah.
And who knows? Maybe Lady Bird will win some as well, because Sacramento is due.
Yeah.
So okay.
All right.
All right. Moving along to number 10 is Paddington 2. It pulled in about 3.1 million over the weekend, and it's dropping out of the top 10 as we speak. Domestic gross is 36 million, but hey, overseas is doing really well. Overseas is doing pulling in 159 million for a worldwide total of 195 million.
Yep, and it's still it's still at 100% on Rotten Tomatoes. No one came out and said, "Hey, it's good, but not that good."
Right. So I think Paddington 3, you say they'll make one, will depend on who ends up with the rights, right? Since the Weinstein company is being auctioned off, being sold.
Yeah, right.
Maybe Warner Brothers will get the rights if it does well, but it's only doing about 36 million so far. Maybe for the domestic right, they don't want it.
Yeah, or it might just go straight to Netflix and they open overseas.
Everything's a Netflix these days.
Yeah, everything's yeah.
Okay, all right.
But I think if they had marketed this film, if it was still with the Weinstein company and they didn't go through that trouble and they went with the normal, excellent, great marketing that they do for their films, this would have done better.
Maybe.
You disagree, but that's what I think.
Maybe. Okay, you say that, but I still say that since it's been out for so many weeks, people should have known about it. And since they know about it, if they have any interest, they would go out and watch it. But yeah, I guess it's not having the interest level. You would expect that a 100% reviewed tomato meter.
Tomato meter.
Yeah, tomato meter movie to have.
Yeah.
And since the first movie's opened better and was well reviewed too and well liked, I assume, and the second movie is just not there.
All
right. That's that rounds off the top 10. Let's move on to the new releases this weekend. We have 3. we have the final 50 Shades movie, 50 Shades 3, and the based on true story event, the 1517 to Paris, and Peter Rabbit. Which one should we start off with?
50 Shades. Why not?
Okay, yeah, 50 Shades 3, the final movie, opening on Valentine's weekend. Is it weekend? No, it's February 14th, but around there.
Yeah, around there.
The first movie opened to 85 million due to all that hype. 166 million domestically, 571 million worldwide. The second movie experienced roughly, like half drop off, 50% drop off, open to 46 million, 114 million domestic, and 381 million worldwide. And these movies are not well reviewed at all, right? The first movie is like 25% Rotten Tomatoes. The second movie is 10%.
Yeah.
I'm not expecting big things from this third movie as well. I mean, I don't expect this movie to be well reviewed.
Yeah, it's one of those films that are limping to the finish line. What's your number? I'm thinking like maybe 20 million.
20 million. I'm thinking maybe 35 million because hey, this is the final movie. And it from the trailer, it seems to be like a thriller. So maybe they'll get that. Again, there's a final movie bump as well. Maybe they just want to close this out.
Yeah.
There's a lot of fans, right? I mean,
that's that's what you said about Maze Runner too.
Yeah, and I was right.
Yeah, but still, it was still lower than the previous one.
Yeah. I think I said 25 million. It opened to 24 million, so I was right.
Yeah, you were right.
Yeah. So,
but that there's no like, it didn't make as much as the second movie. It didn't open as high as the second movie.
No, but it could be lower, right? I mean, if we follow the 50% drop off.
So I'm thinking 20 to 25. You're thinking 30 to 35.
I'm thinking around 35.
Okay, I think you're high.
Good.
Nice. But we'll see.
We'll see. But look, this is the final movie. There is this definite interest in this movie. Still the fan base of the book. As we mentioned, it's the a fanfiction of the Twilight series, right?
Yeah. Except it's for moms.
Right. So it has these which is really the torture porn we're talking about.
Yeah.
Different thing, but
if
we think about it, it's
not
really
not horror film torture.
Right.
Porn,
We're really this is the real torture porn.
Yeah.
In a playful way between consenting adults.
Yeah.
So this movie, I think it could close out with a 35 million opening.
Okay. I'm thinking less.
Okay.
All right. Let's move on to what do you want to do?
Let's do the 15 to 17 to Paris.
Okay.
It's based on a true story about three Americans who got on a train heading to Paris, and there is a terrorist attack, and they stopped it.
So Clint Eastwood did Sully, right?
Yeah, he did Sully, yeah. But he also did American Sniper.
Yeah, so Sully is based on a recent event. True
so
story.
It's American Sniper as well. It's based on
yeah, but not as like
a novel.
Well known, right?
Not based on novel.
Oh yeah, okay, that's true.
Yeah.
Both of them. Yeah, but one was more recent than the other.
Okay.
Right? So Sully, and this is another one of those based on a true story type of film. But what do you think? Except the interesting twist here is he actually got the original heroes, the real life heroes from Sacramento, the great city of Sacramento.
Yes.
To
we couldn't say enough about Sacramento. Great city.
I know, yeah, great city of Sacramento. Yeah. Hey, everything's booming.
No, it's so good that Arnold Schwarzenegger, stay a while there.
Yeah, well, I mean, even the people from San Francisco, the Bay Area, and Los Angeles are migrating over to Sacramento now.
It has no earthquake, has no fires.
Yeah, no earthquake, no fires, and the culture scene is improving.
Okay.
A lot more restaurants, a lot more arts and crafts and arts and stuff. That nightlife.
Sure.
All right.
Right.
Great
city.
Anyway, 15 to 7. 15-17 to Paris. So stars actual heroes of that terrorist attack in a train in Paris that was foiled by them. So interesting take, but I'm not sure. You can never count Clint Eastwood out, especially since most of those films based on current events by Mark Wahlberg, with Peter Berg as the director. Those films had underwhelmed and disappointed, or if not outright bombed. Sully was one of the exceptions lately, so we'll have to see if 1517 to Paris might be another exception.
Yeah. I mean, and Warner Brothers is betting that hey, Clint Eastwood still has his magic, right? With American Sniper and Sully.
Yeah.
Two movies that are based on real events.
Yeah.
And they're hoping lightning can strike with this movie as well.
So what kind of figures are you putting in?
Okay, so I'm maybe 10 to 15 million opening.
10 to 15? Yeah, I'm more on the 10 range.
You're on the 10 range? Okay, so you have a lower thing. So you're not expecting this movie to be like Sully and American Sniper.
Yeah. It's an interesting take, but still, nothing against the great city of Sacramento.
Well, this is not based. I mean, that doesn't take place in Sacramento. I don't believe. Maybe one or two scenes, but mostly it's in Europe.
Yeah, so we'll see. But when you watch the trailer, a lot of it is, and the plot, a lot of it is about their childhood, and it ends with the Paris scene.
Okay.
So most of it is actually about who they were when they grew up and how they ended up being in Paris and taking down the terrorists.
Right.
So yeah, I'm kind of around the 10 range. You're 10 to 15. I think if it opened to the 15 range, it's pretty good.
Well, I have this range because hey, as we said, Clint Eastwood and his other movies, has a potential to surprise. It could even do better than our projections, right? Based on this environment that idolizes the military. Yeah,
because Sully opened to 35 million, which is a lot higher.
Yeah, that one has Tom Hanks. That one has Tom Hanks.
Well, I mean, Tom Hanks lately not the sure thing that he used to be. I mean, he has Captain Phillips and Sully, and
right, but this one doesn't have a star.
Yeah, it doesn't have. Yeah, right, definitely right.
We expect lower. Yeah.
Okay.
But like I said, this could surprise, based on I guess the conservative movement in the country. Conservative idolizes the military and worship their heroes. So it could do better than our projections. Who knows?
Right.
All right.
But they're from Sacramento, a liberal.
Yeah.
City.
We're in California, so.
Yeah. All right. Let's move on to Peter Rabbit.
Okay, Peter Rabbit. It's based on a book, right? Well, it's not based on a book, but there is a book, children's book called Peter Rabbit, and it's based on that. It looks like Paddington, doesn't it?
Yeah, the reviews are kind of mixed. Unlike Paddington.
Yeah, but
reviews are mixed.
It's still like a British movie,
Yeah. It involves animated animals living alongside
humans.
Humans. So I don't know about this one.
Well, if Peter Rabbit is here is a counter program to 50 Shades Free. They drop the kids off.
That's
they
true.
Catch either 50 Shades Free or 1517 to Paris. That's why it's opening at this time slot.
Okay, I see. Yeah, that's right. Oh, that was kind of dirty though. Oh, they're dropping their kids off to watch a dirty movie.
Well,
All right. Okay. So, what are you thinking? I don't have high hopes.
Me neither. I think thinking maybe 15 million opening.
That's pretty solid if we can do 15.
Yeah, because like I say, they're dropping the kids off. Well, they sneak next door.
More like 10 or less.
Okay.
Yeah, my kids don't have any interest in seeing it.
No, but it's there.
So I'll go with 8.
You go with 8. Okay.
Yeah.
I think this movie has potential, even though it's kind of like Paddington. I mean, Paddington looks great and all. It's very well reviewed. But hey, Peter Rabbit, as a name. It's a popular children's book. And because it's counter programming, I think it has potential to open to 15 million. All right. We'll tune in next week to see how we did.
Okay. See you guys next week.